Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings was inspired partly by St. Oswald, but is also inspired by Jesus. And so his speech at the Council of Elrond in The Lord of the Rings is very interesting to look at because in it, Aragorn, Strider, gives a summary of what he's all about and what he does. So let's have a look at it in the context of the Bible. And this connection, it's because J.R.R. Tolkien was a very devout Christian and the theology is in the books. Okay, here we go. This is page 248. Aragorn arises and here's what he says. My home, such as I have it, is in the north. For here the heirs of Valandil have ever dwelt in long line unbroken from father unto son for many generations. Our days have darkened and we have dwindled. Okay, so this reminds me of the line of David, King David, of which Joseph was an ancestor, the father of Jesus. But of course, by that time, he too dwells in the north of Israel. But like with Aragorn, his kingship is forgotten about. He should be king. He's the true king, Jesus, but his kingship is not known or recognized. Lonely men are we, rangers of the wild, hunters, but hunters ever of the servants of the enemy, for they are found in many places. Okay, so this is a really interesting way of thinking about Jesus as a hunter, as a ranger, going about the place, confronting the forces of darkness. And this is what we see with Jesus, confronting human sin, corrupt human authorities, calling out sin and wickedness, standing up to it, hunting it out, and confronting dark spiritual forces, driving them out. We see him doing that all the time in all the Gospels, especially Mark's Gospel. Especially Mark's Gospel. So if Aragorn is a major confronter, going around confronting dark powers, driving them out, so too is Jesus. It's a good way to think about him. In fact, in the description note below, I'm going to put a clip of meeting Strider in the Lord of the Rings films. And he even looks a bit like Jesus. Let's read on. If Gondor has been a stalwart tower, we have played another part. Many evil things there are that your strong walls and bright swords do not stay. This is talking about these spiritual battles, the things that physical walls can't keep off. The North would have known peace and freedom little but for us. It's talking about the Dunedain, of whom is a part, the Rangers. Fear would have destroyed them. But when dark things come from the houseless hills or creep from sunless woods, they fly from us. What roads would any dare to tread? What safety would there be in quiet lands or in the homes of simple men at night if the Dunedain were asleep or all were gone into the grave? So it's saying that dark things fly from the Rangers and they keep the people safe. Well, this is what Jesus is all about, driving out dark forces and saving the world from sin. Travellers, and yet, less thanks have we than you. Travellers scowl at us, and countrymen give us scornful names. Strider I am to one fat man who lives within a day's march of foes that would freeze his heart, or lay his little town in ruin if he were not guarded ceaselessly. Yet we would not have it otherwise. If simple folk are free from care and fear, simple they will be, and we must be secret to keep them so. That has been the task of my kindred, while the years have lengthened and the grass has grown. So that's been the task of his kindred who should be kings, who should be ruling. They're living not to be served, but to serve others, to help the people. So, a radical view of kingship, and that's the kingship of our Lord Jesus said, I came not to be served, but to serve. This is true kingship, true, true leadership there. We also see here that his true identity is being kept secret. And well, that's true of Jesus. In that, many people didn't realize who he was. Remember when he went to his hometown, Nazareth, in Luke's gospel, and no one was interested? They were saying, oh, is not this the son of Joseph? Is not this the carpenter's son? Who's he? And they're like that in Bree towards Strider, but towards Aragorn. What? Oh, he's just some freaky guy. They have no idea of the reality. And also in the Gospels, Jesus, he does this thing called the messianic secret. He's telling people and spiritual forces, don't tell anyone who I am. Don't tell anyone about this miracle. Often he's doing that. And this is because he's got his plan. He wants to face the forces of darkness on the cross. He wants to enter into that battle. He wants to engage battle with them. So he's got to keep his intentions, his plan, under the radar for that to come to pass. There's a difference. Aragorn keeps his true identity secret from the people in the north so they don't freak out by realizing how many trolls and evil things there are all around them. There's a bit different with Jesus in the gospel, but still, it's that mystery, that underlying reality that they're not knowing. That's the key thing here. Other things that we can see similar, and you'll see this in the video that is from Lord of the Rings, where Strider looks almost like he's been out camping and not had a shower for ages. Jesus says, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." So Jesus' image of someone who travels around and around and around. This is what he's always doing, traveling around like these rangers, like Aragorn, like Strider. And he says here, the end of his speech, the climax is, now the world is changing once again. A new hour comes. Isildur's bane is found. Battle is at hand. The sword shall be reforged. I will come to Minas Tirith. So saying, now things are changing and it's time for me to really enter into my kingship. His journey to Minas Tirith is similar to Jesus going up to Jerusalem to face that ultimate battle on the cross, as Aragorn does against the forces of Sauron. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus says, "Do not think I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword." He's here to wage war, to fight battle against the darkness. What's it all for? What Aragorn's whole life has been about, saving the people. In Aragorn's case, the people of Bree. And in the people of Bree and the Shire, you see it. You see a glimpse of heaven on earth. You know, with Bree, you've got dwarves, hobbits, men, all living together uniquely, and it's like a glimpse of paradise. And it's all through the Rangers who know things for us, who are working behind the scenes, that great spiritual reality that's going on, the spiritual battle that's taking place. The people of the villages, they have no idea, totally oblivious. How like many of us are, not tuned in So a greater sign to us to try to tune in to the work, the Aragorn-like work that's going on around us, raising us up, delivering us.